So,
Yo,
um, I text you right after I read this, and I thought,
that was
maybe I'm kind of
definitely,
like, I don't know. I kind of read it late.
yeah.
I really think this is the best issue, the run so far.
I almost don't disagree with you. It's not really a high bar to set, unfortunately. Um, I, I like that the rogues are in it, and it's not just like this. Like they're not just like his underlings. They have some kind of agency, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
like it's kind of mindless
it's just like
things.
I feel like part of it that I'm like disconnected from is that we had this like time skip here, like with the war, and we just don't know like anything other than like, you know what I mean?
Right. And I feel like it's kind of, we're not going to get the in between. It's just like we're here. So, but
I also, okay, like, and I don't know if you like this part or not, and I don't think it's bad, but like the stuff with Barry and Wally,
I thought it
and
was some of the best stuff in the issue.
I did too, but then I thought about it this way. It seems like they're like driving home this point that none of these people, like they're both Wally and not Wally. So I don't know, like it just doesn't seem as like, I guess, like I'm thinking of like Wade and like that era, and when like the three-time Barry comes back and is like here to like help Wally out. And then like this kind of feels like a cheap imitation of that in a way because it Wally's like down and out. He needs the pick me up. He needs this stuff. But then it's just Barry, but it just doesn't hit the same way I would have expected it to, I guess.
I get why you're saying that. I kind of thought of it more that through Barry, Spurrier's kind of being like, hey, I know you guys that are like Flash fans are kind of like, what is this? This isn't the Flash. And that was kind of like him saying, like, I get that. So almost kind of like being like, just let me see, like just wait and see what I'm gonna do. Because
Let me keep doing my thing kind of thing.
yeah, because I feel like, I I read the issue twice and I was
Yeah.
kind of like, I get what Spurrier's trying to do. And he's trying to kind of take it extreme where we're gonna get, because like I feel like throughout this run, I mean, we're on issue 21, you've kind of gotten to a point where it's like, damn, like Wally's not himself. And this is kind of like
I guess
cementing that because like the the copy that,
I
the
was just gonna go and like segue into this like the copy, like
well, there's yeah,
the
the
rogue
copy,
clone.
yeah, the rogue clone, like when they're about to like they're lining up and they're like gonna merge so that
Yeah,
they
he
all
like
have the
dips
same
on it.
memory. Yeah, he's just like,
Um,
nah. It's kind of like
you
the Miles Morales thing where he's like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah, okay, so like I don't
Yeah.
remember what issue it was. Maybe it was when did we first see like the second Wally? Was that like in 13 or 14?
That was the start of
It,
that, right?
it was yeah, it was like the end of the first arc or that second first issue and like when the second arc. Maybe that one.
It was here.
Like whatever the issue is where Linda's like, "Oh, like is there anything else we need to worry about?" And he's like, "Oh, no." And then he had like that quick flash to the panel with the two Wallies. I
Yeah.
wonder if this is that. Like this is that other Wally.
Oh
Because I
yeah.
remember we kept talking about how like what that would look like and what it would be and where that would go. And I feel I don't know. We've been like even though we had like the crown of Thawns and all that crap in the first 13 issues, it doesn't feel like we ever really got like a speedster villain for this run. So I
Yeah.
think it would be cool to wrap like, and I think it almost fulfills that like reverse flash bit where you get the speedster villain and it has like a like kind of like some connection to the greater story of the run. And if that's the case, I think he could probably nail it, dude. Like if that's what that final arc is, like he's setting up like this next maybe a big arc where it's like the two always I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all shot in the dark, but like it seems silly to set that up to then let it just fall to the wayside. But that's kind of been half of the stuff in this run as it is.
Well, I'm kind of just intrigued. Like this issue definitely I'm excited for the next issue because of this, you know.
I
Um
yeah, I think the Rogue Wally stuff is what is keeping me on board.
well, yeah, of course. And like I mean that's just like that's good writing because you're kind of just like awesome. You know, we're not gonna have like kind of emotionless Wally in that black suit, which I like that suit. I think it looks cool.
It does look cool.
But like it's like I love that how Barry was just like, I think I'm gonna need that ring back. Like this isn't
Yeah.
the Flash. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is good. This is good shit. You know, like I'm in.
I don't know. Like I guess hearing it from your point of view and how it just I feel a little less critical about it, I guess, now
Yeah.
that we're talking about it. Because like it is kind of fitting because Barry's like, I gave this to you as like a sign of my trust and like, you know, my faith in you as the Flash, but then you're out here doing this and you're just like basically just creating clones to send them out to die. Like this is not something that were ever supposed to do. Like it's just
Well,
kind of defeats the purpose of what the Flash is.
what I like too is like it's not like Barry doesn't have his powers, so like
Yes, that's
he
true.
literally can't like be like, well, I'm taking it back. You know, like he's
Right.
kind of in a spot where he's like, damn,
Which I think is like pretty it's better this way because last time there was an issue between the two of them and they both had powers. Look where it ended up.
Flash War.
Flash War. We ended up with Hunter trying to take a stab at Top Shot, dude. uh but it is interesting to have Barry come in with no powers and say like basically I can't make you give me the ring, but all I'm asking is that you give it to me because this is not what I gave it to you for.
And I don't know if it's Spurrier or if it's editorial, but I just felt like the way Barry was written was very like good, very good. It was like it
He
just
okay.
characterized well.
I will give him that. I will give Spurrier that. Though every time he's written Barry, it's been pretty solid.
Yeah.
Which is why I just feel like if do like you like I just do a Barry run. Like I'm almost okay with it. Like I would almost rather you just stick to something that you're good at or a character that you can write that's in character than trying to like muck up some of the other stuff.
Well, I think that's just always like the curse when it comes to the Flash. Like whatever Flash you don't currently have, you just want the other one, you know?
Yeah.
So like when you have Wally, you want Barry stories, but when we had all those Barry stories for like almost 10 years when he came back,
Yeah.
everyone wanted it the other way, which is so weird. But
I I always think of like, I think we touch on this probably all the time, like how just the portrayal of Barry, like at least modern day, is either like Wally light or it's just like he's a super sad boy. And
yeah.
I'm glad that this is neither because it would have been really easy for Spurrier just to keep writing Barry as like the sad guy who lost his powers, can't run, do all these things. But it seems like Barry's acclimated pretty well. Like, but he still has a job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's still out there doing shit for the Justice League.
I didn't even know this was a Diodato cover. I just realized that.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Well, going back to what you were saying, like I'm kind of when I talked with Wade, he said he had plans for Barry. So I'm kind of wondering,
Well,
like,
he's Barry is the focal point of that new History of the DC Universe book.
yeah. So I'm kind of like excited to see like
Do
what.
you think this is that like Barry story that he's been waiting to tell, but it's like it's more incorporated in this? Like,
Hmm.
he can kind of tell it, but also he's been able to incorporate like the entirety of the DC universe and he can like reestablish things. Or do you think this is something different from that? Because he's always, I don't remember where he said it, but I swear that he's been like, I've got a Barry story in the chamber, and I'm like, he's like, I'm waiting to tell it.
Well, he's always had that Wally story, but like he basically kind of told me that like he's never really going to tell that.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, like I feel like they've done so much time travel stuff where he kind of told me he was like, I don't think that it's kind of worth telling right now unless I would able to rethink it. Like he told me like he would kind of was done, like he said what he had to say about the Flash. So like
Yeah,
with that new history of the DC universe, I was kind of surprised. I was like,
yeah.
huh, so there's a
But I mean,
lot
Barry's
here.
Barry's like the guy to do it. I think though, like
Yeah, of course.
if you're gonna pitch that story that's like going through the ages, what better way to start with than like the guy who started the Silver Age? You know,
Oh yeah,
that's yeah, it's a good choice. That book's gonna be crazy good.
I know.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
Each
I'm
issue
excited.
has like different artists. Yeah, yeah, town.
Shh.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be sick though.
Do they even have anything? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, the first couple of issues. Yeah, dude, the cover and the Dan Mora covers look crazy. Yeah, the Wonder Woman cover is cool.
Wow, I haven't even seen that.
Yeah, the Batman one is sick, dude. Oh
Oh,
yeah, there's
this
the Dan Mora Flash one. It's good, dude. It's really good.
so
And
cool, man. I'm excited.
the homages are gonna be really cool because it's gonna be like all of those like big moments in those eras.
Oh yeah,
Like I'm sure one of those is a Crisis, like the '80s one or the second issue. You know, dude, this is gonna be such a cool book.
I like don't
Ugh.
like covers like this.
Really?
It's just too much. Like I recently got rid of like a lot of my collection, like just issues that were like from Death Metal or like Infinite Frontier, where like I just
Yeah.
kind of was like, man, like I don't have any connect. Like
I
I
need to get
read
rid of
these.
I need to get rid of my future state stuff.
Yeah, I like looking back at that, I'm like, we're in such a better spot now with like
Dude,
DC stuff.
imagine what would have been.
Well, I feel like the only thing like to look back on like death metal and all that is like what we really got out of that was the absolute universe, but we just didn't know we were getting that. So like it's
Yeah,
like,
because it was like Earth, what Alpha or whatever they called it back
yeah,
then.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I'm not a fan of these kind of covers.
they're
I don't
okay.
like connecting covers.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
Man,
like it.
you and JD kill me with the no variance thing you got going
Well,
on
like
there.
I like a good variant, but like the thing is like I don't know. I feel like sometimes like slabbed variants are kind of like, eh. Like I'd rather
Mm,
have the main cover. It has to be like
yeah.
something really cool. Like it has to be like um an artist that you really like drawing like a character that they've never really done and you're like, "Oh, I love this artist, but he's never done
Yeah.
that." Like um I forget what it was. It was it Flash 750 that um there was that Gary Frank cover.
Oh yeah.
I remember like seeing that and I'm like because I'm
Dude,
such a Gary Frank fan that I was like, oh, I love that.
I spent probably like upwards of $30 to $40 on that one issue because I have like five covers of it. I've got the Del one, I've got the Jim Lee, I've got the regular, I've got the blank, and I've got which other one was there?
I
Oh,
ended up getting the Jim Lee one,
yeah, I have that one.
but
I got
like I like if
that
I
carries.
found this
That's
slab somewhere, I'd probably snag that.
you
Just
could
even the
probably.
background.
Yeah, the background's pretty tight, dude. Like that's a really good cover.
I've been kind of on a well, I always will be like skimming through like my Silver Age flash books and stuff, but I was talking with Emily the other night because she was kind of asking me, she was like, "So what haven't you read of the Flash?" And I'm like, I figured it out like Bronze Age stuff, and it's because it's not
Yeah.
on DC Infinite.
Mm.
And I was like, it's a big gap of issues. Like if you scroll through there, you'll be like, that's kind of weird how big of a jump. Like it's like 70 issues, and then like a couple random ones are missing.
Mm.
But I actually sent a request to customer support about like why can't we get these like scanned? So I think that's gonna be my new hunt is I want to collect every
Like all
Bronze
Bronze Age.
Age. Yeah.
What,
Because you can't even get it on Comixology.
right. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
do you know what issue number it starts at? Because clearly it's that Bronze Age runs into like the very beginning of, well, no,
It's 200 to 350.
because the end of that first run, right? Because when they relaunched, that's technically like modern era, right? Like 87, all right, I think,
Yeah.
when they relaunch for like Wally with the number one
Yeah.
after Crisis.
Yeah. But that's
Um,
like 100. I mean,
yeah.
so I think like 270
Because
onward.
it's like 70s to 80s, but the I don't know, like the here's the thing, is like when you do the era stuff, but then you also have like Crisis on Infinite Earths, like smack dab in the middle of what's considered like that era of comics. It's hard because then you like look at Marvel and the way that they have it structured, and it's just like a big influx of like new creators on titles, all this stuff, whereas
Yeah.
DC was doing something different, and it was just a universal like reboot at that time. So it was like crazy. It's like just yeah, it's kind of like all over the place when it comes to like that in like that moment. Like I've never thought about that either. Like kind of DC being in this weird pocket sometimes where it's like where in Marvel there were like certain runs while numbering was continuing on. It really felt like a fresh gig. But at DC it was like kind of we're waiting until this big event is over so we can kind of
Right.
reinvigorate everything. But so like I've always just used like almost those 2 points of reference for like you have Silver Age when Showcase Force comes out, and then you've got Crisis ending being the beginning of the modern era. But
Right. Well, like Bronze Age for
yeah,
Flash, it's so funny because like there's not really trades of it.
right. And
And
there's not like actual big collected editions either.
no, like the only thing that comes to mind is like the Death of Iris West trade, which that has a good chunk of issues that aren't on DC Infinite.
Mhm.
But it's funny because you can actually read the trade on DC Infinite, like with the Ultra tier.
Yeah.
But it's like you
Do
have
you
these
think we'll
scanned,
ever
like,
reach that?
huh?
Not to interrupt you, but do you remember when they dropped those like Flash Silver Age collections?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever reach that point and hit bronze?
No, because I think after like four came out a while ago,
Oh,
and
and yeah, it's been a few years, huh?
like we'll get back to talking about this issue in a minute. It's Flash related, so
Yeah,
it's worth talking about.
yeah, of course.
Um, let me show you. I
Like
think. Oh,
this is like right now when I need JD.
well, I
You know
did
what I
text him
mean?
about it. We were talking
Like
about it for a while.
this is like these are the moments that I need him. I'm like, dude, like the little like help me out, man. Like the little bits that I need help with, help me out.
So this is the trade I was telling you about.
Oh yeah.
But so
Oh, is this when when Thawne kills Iris the first time, right?
yeah,
I have some of these issues.
yeah. I'm trying to. Oh, they don't have the Silver
Dude,
Age
I don't
one.
know that I may have read them like once. Because is that 247 right there with the gel cell? Oh no, 349. I can't even fucking see those numbers.
Yeah.
Um I
So
have
I'll show you which issue.
I have the couple in that the fight between them. Uh,
So
what the hell?
I think they have this issue, and then they don't have from here to literally
The end.
like here. They don't have all those issues. Isn't that crazy? Like that's a
Dang.
lot of content.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah, that's a lot.
and they don't even have the issues where Barry kills Reverse Flash on DC Infinite, and then they just like
Dude.
it goes right to the trial. I'm like,
Oh,
so like I kind of was like I have this issue, but it's not on DC Infinite.
mhm.
So
Oh,
like
it's right here.
yeah, so like afterwards is too. There's like the couple little spotty points where they just don't have the
Yeah,
issues. Like it's so weird, but like I'm you might have to send an email to them too, because like I want to read these issues,
I
man.
got
And
you.
like I've like done a lot of. I mean, obviously it's like that period where like they've said like Flash didn't really have a whole lot of like first appearances or like significant storylines and like a lot of this. And I
Yeah.
get that, but like, dude, this is the first appearance of Rainbow Raider. And I know he's kind of like
Dude, the greatest villain.
I know he's kind of like C-list in terms of like
Okay,
the
every
rogues,
time
but
I
like,
think of Rainbow Raider, I just think of that moment in Adam's Flash where he's coming down from the rainbow and he just gets fucking smacked, dude,
yeah,
like T-bone. And I love that. I love that moment so much.
but
Is that
like,
that's the which issue is that? Is that when that's when Wolf takes over, right? As like
yeah,
mayor? Or
hmm
is that when oh is it then? Or is it when
I
is that
think so.
the 800 story? I think it is when Wolf is mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love that moment so much.
But dude, like I want to read these issues. Like I know it's not like the
Yeah.
best in terms of like the character's history,
No,
but like
dude, and we've talked about like I've really been moving at like a snail's pace with Thor from 400 till the end because they're just like reads, man. They're like long reads, and I'm just like, it's hard for me to just stay committed when each issue is like 20-minute read sometimes.
yeah, sometimes like a half hour.
Dude, yes. And I'm just like it just yeah, it just totally puts me like it I'm just frozen sometimes because I just don't want to be like wasting like 30 minutes of my day to read one issue.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy because like I'll get to the end of it and I'll be like, that was okay. And then I just feel like I didn't really do much for an hour.
Going back to this issue, did you think when you first read the issue, like when they call Max Mercy, like
Well, I
I
mean,
felt like that was kind of written a little weird.
yeah,
Like,
like I mean,
well,
at first, go ahead, sorry.
so you know how like all the rogues are kind of called something different? Like,
Mhm.
I feel like that like was just written a little weird because I think it was kind of like a sarcastic thing
Yeah.
because like, Max is kind of there and like maybe he's like helping the clones and like maybe the Prime Wally's just kind of like don't bother, like
Like
don't worry about it.
and here's what I find weird is you've got like every speedster on board except Barry. Like
Right.
the whole family is on board, and not Jay, not Max, not anybody else looked at Wally and said, maybe we don't do this. Like maybe this is not something that we do. Like so that's the
Yeah.
other thing too, is like now that we're talking about it, like how many characters are we gonna have to write out of character so Wally can be this war general and fight this 1,000-year war that's secret, you know? But then you also
Yeah.
have all of the rogues who are here, but they're like,
They're like souped up but they're souped up to the point where like my first thought was like, and we talked about this last time, was like, are these really the rogues or like
yeah. Is
are
that
these
God?
just
That's
kind of
Godspeed.
yeah.
Like when see now I just don't care about the Godspeed stuff because it was interesting when he was in jail and Wally had this feeling of guilt and it looked like he maybe took his power.
Yeah.
But now like there's no mention of it or anything, so it's just like a waste of an opportunity. Like get out of here, dude. Like go back to jail.
Segment. Yeah.
Um I kind of like the rest. Like if this arc ended up being like the next couple of issues is him fighting the rogues, or hell, even if we get an issue of like the Rogue Wally joining them, or like, anything that isn't what I've been getting, is basically what I'm saying. Like, just give me
Right.
anything else that I can be like, this is kind of like classic Flash, even if it's
Yeah.
dead ass in the middle of this not classic Flash arc. But I don't know, this whole bit with the
Yeah.
dog being a baby universe, but also being the baby Speed Force, and also being a whatever else it's supposed to be. Like, I don't a
Yeah.
baby
Well,
source of life energy.
I'm still really like kind of like confused that like, so we got another few issues of this, but then there's like that other writer that's like writing a part of this where I'm kind of like, that's a little odd.
When does that start?
Um, I think it might be after this. Bad Moon Rising special or something.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's right. I remember you saying that. Yeah, I should just see Bad Mooning. It is a bad mooning.
Yeah, like I'm so confused by this.
I know it's packed it all. I mean, to be fair, he has done the other Flash, like ancillary stuff besides Speed Force. He didn't do that. Is that who is that? Is that the Shade back there?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, man, this is just this run is just dragging for me, bro. I just am ready for something new. To be honest with you, like I'm just ready to be.
You kind of just ready to like to,
Yes, dude. Like, and I don't want to. I'm not even gonna drop it at this point. I'm just gonna keep spending the $4 or $5 because the covers at least look cool. But like,
well,
come on.
there are like some cool things about like what is being set up, but then like it's kind of,
But we've been saying that since issue one.
I know. Well, I want to like, I guess I'm kind of realizing, and like, I mean, this is something I've known for a while, but like really, and this definitely like more emphasized in like Jeff Johns' run, but
Mhm.
like Central City, Keystone City, like those are like real like characters.
Yes, dude.
Just same
Like
thing as like Gotham and like Metropolis, like you know,
right.
you kind of, and it's funny saying it about the Flash, but you kind of want more boots on the ground, like kind of stories.
Well, right. I mean, like, and I know some people get caught up in the, well, he can break the dimensional barrier, or he can travel through time, or he can explore the multiverse. And he's one of the only characters I can't like. That's cool. It is cool. But I don't think that that is what the Flash is actually about. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you said, like boots on the ground, being like literally being there with like a split second to spare to save somebody's life in Central City. But then he also still somehow has enough time to scoot his ass over, to get a milkshake or something stupid, or like go in and unpack a few boxes from the house he just moved in with Linda. Like that's the
yeah,
kind of shit that makes this book good and fun to me to read. Not like, well, no, I've just made 800,000 clones of myself and we're fighting this endless war against this giant sun and moon god that doesn't really make any fucking sense at all.
yeah,
And I'm like, dude, like if that's the kind of Flash you like, okay, this is probably the perfect book for you. It's just not for
yeah.
me. Like the stuff that I think we like
Keep it
about the
simple.
Flash is,
You got to keep it
yeah,
simple.
like the stuff that we like about the Flash doesn't have to be this big grandiose like sci-fi story. Like you can still tell the sci-fi stuff, but you can keep it very simple and very like concentrated on the characters.
Well, that was like my concern when I heard Spurrier was taking over is like I knew this was the kind of stories we were going to get because he did this with X-Men, all the little
Yeah.
X-Men spin-offs that he did, or the stuff in Detective Comics that he did when Ram V was doing the main story, he was doing the B
Oh yeah,
story.
when he
Like
did
it
the
was
backups.
trippy stuff. Like that's just his thing.
Right.
So like I was
And
kind
I
of
like
like,
his some of his index some of his indie work is good. Like I
yeah,
have no problem. But like yeah, I don't know, just maybe this wasn't it.
yeah.
Because how do you feel about his X-Men as a whole? Well, like did you read all of his X-Men stint?
I read like most of it. Um,
Did you read Uncanny Spider-Man?
no, I didn't read like Krakoan Age. Like I read
Oh.
like when
But
I was
that's
doing
like when
like,
he kind of like came into his like prime at Marvel.
yeah, like when I was reading his stuff was like when he was doing like, he did a run on X-Force, which was really weird.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I remember you telling me about it, but yeah, I don't
yeah,
know
when
about
I
it.
was doing an X-Men binge, like I would like see the Spurrier titles and like if they had like characters I was kind of invested in at the time when I
You
was
would,
doing that binge, like Hope Summers or
yeah.
Cable. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh well, I can't skip it. Like I'm when you if you ever do an X-Men binge, like the like Messiah trilogy,
Mhm.
I never really cared a lot about Cable, but like that made me be like, I
Yeah, to
have
be
to
honest with you,
read,
like I really don't give a fuck about cable, but I
dude. But
will give it a shot. I'll give it a
like
shot.
the Messiah trilogy, man, like that
Because
that
that
was
is
some
like
good
pretty much
stuff.
like his story, right?
Yeah, he's a big, and then it spins out into it was like smart for the time. Like it spins out into a Cable one shot, or
Right.
not one shot, like solo,
Mhm.
where he has baby Hope Summers and he's
And that's
traveling
kind
through
of
the
like the
future.
version that, yeah, that's like the kind of version we got in like Deadpool 2 and like kind of
Yeah,
the version that's like more commonly like portrayed is that one, right? But it's
yeah.
everything before that is kind of what people don't get from cable, right?
I mean, there's some good stuff. I mean, the original New Mutants X-Force stuff, it's like great, but like it's because it's the mystery. It's kind of like the Wolverine thing
Yeah,
where like
yeah.
his origins are more interesting when you don't know anything about it. Like it's mysterious. Like, oh, who is this guy? But what's cool about that Cable series was like Bishop was trying to kill baby Hope Summers because like there's a chance that she grows up to be like what creates like Cable Bishop's future. So
Oh,
like
right.
they're kind of at
They're at odds,
odds with
right?
each other. It's just cool. Like it was just good. I liked it.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I'll get around to an X-Men binge at some point, whether it's a year from now,
yeah.
5 years
Well,
from now.
if you
I'll
need my
finally
list, dude, you
telling you,
take
man.
this list, you'll be like, whoa.
Do you okay? It'd probably obviously I'd be starting with Claremont.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, no,
um,
okay. I would actually probably want to start and read like the beginning, not all of it. That's a lot. That's too much. I'm not reading that much X-Men. I'm sorry.
well,
Um,
read the Claremont stuff, and then I mean,
I
really,
was thinking about maybe reading like the first, like until I could kind of get a grasp on what it was like in the early days. Like I could read one to whatever, you know, because I think that's stuff I could get down with that kind of stuff a little bit. Um, but yeah, I think if I was to read like binge some X-Men, it would probably have to be like Claremont, probably Morrison, and then at that point, I could probably just close the chapter on that and just be okay with those two. But
yeah. Well, so like the Claremont stuff, like up until Days of Future Past, that's all I've really read of that run.
okay,
I'm gonna go back to it, but everyone kind of there's a reason why all the X-Men movies latch on to that
yeah.
first half of the Claremont run. But like Morrison,
Or,
that's
or
like
or do you think it would
Morrison's the best
be,
like modern entry point.
or do you think I'd have more success if I were to just kind of pick a couple of characters that I wanted to follow rather than read them like just X-Men? What's your thoughts on that? Do you, because like everywhere else, it kind of seems like you can just pick up a character and run with it and see where that goes. Whereas X-Men, I kind of feel that way sometimes, but also at the same time, every character's so like tightly knitted to the others, it's hard to like do that because you're going to get a lot of bleed.
You kind of just need to
Just take the jump and just read X-Men.
well no, you just gotta read Uncanny and then like through reading that and like then when the spin-off books come in, I feel like then you kind of realize you're like, oh, these are the characters I like. These are the ones I kind of don't really care about.
Hmm.
And that's just kind of how I am. It's kind of daunting because there's so much, but like you just kind
Yeah,
of find what you like, you know?
yeah.
Like if you're reading X-Men as someone that's read it like, monthly,
Mhm.
you kind of just have to like accept that you're only going to read one or two X-Men books. You're not going to read all of them. And
Yeah, dude, tell that to some people at my shop, bro.
yeah,
Like
like it's just too
literally,
much.
try to explain to them that you don't need to read the 15 to 20 X-Men titles that have just started when they promised us that this new initiative would be a slow start. Bro, there's so many X-Men books right now.
If one thing I'll say, and like a lot of people will agree with me, is at any point in time, there's normally only one X-Men book that's actually really good. And it sucks when you're not reading that book.
Are you reading any of the current X-Men stuff?
Nope.
None of it.
Nope.
I think okay, okay, here's a quick little I'm reading all three of the main books and I'm reading Wolverine still and I'm reading Storm and there might be one more that I'm reading. Don't remember. So I'm reading a fair amount of like modern X-Men because I read a fair amount like during Krakoa. So I figured I'll just kind of keep with the momentum and kind of see where it goes. I think Jed McKay's run is a bit of a dud. Like I really do.
I
Because
think yeah. I don't know anything
it
about
got
it, but
so hyped up with Cyclops being like kind of in charge again. You got Stegman on the art. Jed McKay's been like their golden boy. And I don't think it's bad, but I just think it's not what it could deliver a lot better because you get like half of this book has been whoever this other artist is that just kind of looks like Stegman light.
mhm.
And yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Like we've been telling the same story basically like for 15 issues, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I think Uncanny is really good.
I'll check it out.
The
Like
Gail Simone one is
I'll
really,
get
really
into it.
good because
Wait
that's
for a couple more issues.
like the kind it's like that the 90s team. You know, you got Rogue and Gambit and Jubilee and Wolverine and they're kind of off doing their own thing because the X-Men are split up around the US and then
Yeah.
they kind of like find their a group of like stray young mutants and they take them in and I don't know it really plays on the found family aspect of like I think why people like X-Men because you know
Right.
um so I think it's really good and David Marquez is fucking sick dude. I could watch I could read anything that dude draws except
Yeah.
it's Justice League. I'm not reading that.
Damn.
I read that first issue. I was out, bro.
Yeah.
The villain was such a jabroni. I was like, I think I could just never read this again. It'd be
Was that
fine.
Bendis?
Yeah, that first issue, it was such dog shit. I was like, I'm
It's
okay.
crazy to even think that Bendis wrote Justice League for a little while.
He didn't let me forget, dude, because it was when Naomi was literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Like she's in Young Justice. She's showing up in the Wonder Twins. She's the one of the main characters in Justice League. She's doing this, and it's like if you have to throw your character in my face at every possible opportunity, maybe they're not that good of a character.
Right.
Like
And I feel like because of like what he did with like Miles and like Ironheart, like
tried to like replicate that over at DC.
yeah, well, it's like
And
kind of want to think, oh, this is a Bendis character. Like it's got like
dude,
they did. How
you
did they
remember
even
when
do a
that
Naomi show? I don't even
dude and
understand that.
dude the pilot for that show is god awful, bro. It's not good. I don't remember what the catchphrase for that like when the trailer came out. I remember just watching the trailer and being like, I'm probably just not gonna watch that. And
Damn.
hey, fine, you know what I mean? Like not everything is made for me, and I can accept that. But also like then I think about the fact that her first appearance, the first print, was like abnormally high for a long time as
Yeah.
far as like and dude that's the thing that I don't even know how or why because I don't Do you remember anybody talking about Naomi and how like incredible that book was when that book came out? Right.
No.
I think it is because it had so few copies and it got a little bit of traction because it was a Bendis thing that people were like, oh, let's keep it on the radar. And then when nothing ever actually happened, I think, and it took a long time for sales to kind of die down on that book because first print was going for crazy numbers for a while.
Huh. It's interesting. It's weird looking back at that stuff, but
I do, and like it feels like forever ago. You know what I
oh,
mean?
I
But
know.
realistically, it's only been like not even 10 years.
Well, like the whole CW stuff feels like it
Oh,
was forever ago too.
man.
But
The CW stuff just gets me.
well, I hope that I made you appreciate this issue a little bit more. I know there's some
No,
still
you did.
some stuff, but
Like I said, I think what
the
keeps
good
me hanging
outweighs the
on.
bad in this for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I feel like this is what's kept carrying me through this is I'll be able to find a few things that I'm really interested in, and that's what like is the through line. Like I can just keep reading for those reasons and kind of just accept what else is going on.
Yeah.
Not that I'm gonna be like Spurrier, you and me in the streets, let's go. I hate this book, but like
Yeah.
this is not what I was expecting
Well,
from this book. I'll
you're going to
take
end
the
up
good
rereading.
with the bad, I guess.
There's going to be a point where whoever they put on next, when he's done with his run, you're going to be like, man, I wish we had Spurrier.
You think so?
I think, no, I don't know.
Okay,
But
who do you think takes over after this, I guess?
Tom Taylor, he'll finish his detective stuff and it'll be Tom
No,
Taylor.
no, no. Okay, then I will probably not actually read it. Dude, I don't want that, dude, because
He's been eyeing it for years. You know he
here's
has
why.
to.
Here's why I don't want it. While I think his detective run is good, I think it suffers from the same problem his Nightwing does. He just really, really wanted to slap his stamp on the mythos and say, look what I did, and I changed this and this retcon, and now he's got a sister, and now like it's not like beat for beat, but it's pretty close. You know, you've got Dick and the Zuko's and Melinda and all of this like upending, retconning shit, and then you've got Bruce and Azima and the Scarlet Girl and how she was her connection to his parents and Joe Chill and all of this, and how it's like this upending retcon to Batman's origins and his history. Like, I don't want him to do that to the Flash.
Yeah.
The only way that I see that working out, if you're gonna do the sibling angle, is if you really fucking drive home Cobalt Blue.
Yeah.
Like, and bring dude back, let him like run amok a little bit. Hell, man, let him have like a personal vendetta against Wally, because like he is Barry's brother,
Yeah. It would
and
be
if
cool to
you're,
see a modern story with him again.
you know what I mean, like it would be cool. Like, and at least you're doing it like, and you can still like keep with the trend of you're doing your silly little sibling retcon, but at least in a way that's already established. You can play with a lot of existing, you know, history there and change it in ways that, you feel like you need to make it work a little bit. But I don't know. I'm just afraid that he's going to do some random out of left field retcon to the Flash's history that I'm just like, whatever, dude, I don't care.
Well, he's not announced yet, but I'm willing to bet money that he's the next after
I'm just
Spurrier.
trying to think of who else could do it.
It's not gonna be Ryan North.
Dude, if it's Ryan Nor, I'll shit my pants, dude. Because, like, listen,
It wouldn't be Ryan North. It'll
why? Okay, but why
probably
not? Why not though? It could be. You let him wind
mm,
down Fantastic Four, you let Spurrier finish, and you let Barry take over as the Flash again. I'd read the shit out of a Barry Ryan North book, dude.
I feel like there's a higher chance that like they'd get like Chip Zdarsky.
But I feel like he got burned, dude. Like he's back at Marvel doing Cap.
True.
So, and I don't
Well,
trust
Batman's
anything.
just a mess
I
right
don't
now.
trust anything that dude says anymore, bro, because he's a fat out liar. He, you know what,
Zdarsky?
Zdarsky, if you're listening to this, I know that you're a smart ass dude and you got a smart ass mouth. But the fact that you called out all these creators for not doing Batman and Daredevil, and then you didn't do Batman and Daredevil when you were on both books, bro, give me a break. So I hope you watch this,
Yeah.
Zdarsky, and I hope maybe someday you'll do Batman Daredevil for real. So, but yeah, Cap will be good. I never thought about a Zdarsky Flash.
Well, he likes the character. I know that. Um, I don't know if it's like joking, but he has said before that he would like to do it. I could be
Dude, you
remembering
know
it
what would
wrong.
actually go kind of hard with Zdarsky on the script?
Ooh,
Give me like a Bart series.
yeah.
That would go kind of sick, dude. Because like have you read much of Zdarsky's other stuff? Like his indie stuff?
No, not really.
I feel like you get a bit more of like who he is like individually, not like the like whatever story he's trying to tell with like the DC and Marvel characters. Like when it's his own creator, own work, like it's you can tell. Like Sex Criminals, I've read little bits of that. Funny as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like
I've always wanted to check that out, just out of curiosity.
yeah, there because that's him in Fraction. And then you've
Yeah.
got like 8 Billion Genies. Like and these are all like kind of like goofier books, you know? So I feel like if you were to take a character like Bart and give him to Zdarsky, I wonder what he could do with him. You know what I mean? Like I and then I think about that, but then I run with other thoughts of like what happens if there was this like if you took that concept but you did it with like across the board where you took characters that like suited a writer's certain strength as a storyteller and not just like kind of let them take a stab at characters they like or characters they know about. Like give them the homework to do, but also give them a character that would be fitting for their writing style and what they're good at, and see what happens. Like Barton Zdarsky could be a cool fit.
Yeah.
You know, I've thought about that a few times. Like, what happens if the editor was like, "Hey, like this is a top-down thing. You don't get a say. We're just gonna try it." What would happen?
Could be cool.
You might get a lot. You get a lot of like unorthodox pairings as far as like creators and characters go, but you might get a lot of good stories then.
I just feel like DC, they've been pretty good with like kind of eliminating, well, they don't really have those titles anymore. Like they used to take gambles on titles, and Marvel would take
I wish they
gambles.
would, dude. I wish they would.
But DC, like DC will probably not do an Impulse book ever again. They'll probably not do even like a Young Justice again.
Dude, give me like a mini series, like an Impulse mini series. I would be okay with it.
But like I feel like they like honestly, the fact that they did Speed Force, I was like, that's
Dude, the
kind of a
fact that we
gamble
got a
because like,
question book or the secret that we have a secret six book right now, like that's crazy because we haven't had that since New 52.
dude, they had Al Ewing on a Metamorpho book and it didn't
That
sell.
book is fucking sick, dude. It's so
It
cool.
didn't sell
The
though.
last issue just came. I don't care. I read all six issues of it. It's great. Listen, I don't. And listen, and it's probably not great to most people. I don't care. It's like okay. So have maybe you have heard this, or maybe you haven't. But Ewing did an interview, and I'll have to find it. But apparently, his knowledge of DC rivals Wade's. I don't
Yeah, you've said
know.
that before.
I, and when you read like Metamorpho, it's just like it's a smooth read. It's got a lot of dialogue, but it's very like it kind of feels like it's of its time with Ewing's knowledge and like the stuff that he likes to do, like this Silver Age goofy stuff.
Hmm.
That's all that book is, bro. And it's just literally gas from issue one to issue six. It's just goofy. It's funny. It's irreverent. It's got a bunch of cool shit that Rex Mason does. It's a cool book, dude. Don't sleep on Metamorpho.
I'll check it out. I definitely will. I want to.
It's
But
shouldn't the first couple issues be on
oh, it's definitely
DC?
on. Yeah, it's definitely on
Yeah,
there. And I have the Ultra
it'll
tier.
yeah, dude, it's probably on the next day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're probably you could
Well,
probably read it right now, the whole thing. It's a
literally
good
a
one.
month after it comes out, it's on there, which dude it saved me tons
Dude,
of
don't
money
even get me
because
going on an Ewing Flash book. I'd read the shit out of it.
yeah.
He's already halfway through his Thor run. So and
Yeah,
that's
he's killing it. Well, hey man, I gotta let you go,
Yeah,
but
for sure, bro.
enjoyed talking about. I was excited for this issue, so I'm glad that
Yeah,
we got a
I'm
good
sorry I
discussion
don't
out of it.
share the same excitement for it that you did, but yeah.
But hey, that's what the whole point of this is, man. I gotta keep you excited about this.
Nah, I know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep dragging ass, and it's gonna be hard to read this. I will say, you're definitely motivating me to keep reading it because I'm like, maybe he's gonna change my mind one of these weeks. Maybe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, but like, dude, it's like when it's like done, like we're gonna like lay it all out and be like, wow,
Yeah.
that's the
I'm
exciting part.
interested to see how I'm gonna feel about it, like when it's all said and done.
Yeah, for sure.